get out there. Here we go. Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the Sanford Pentagon for the 2016 NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Pre-Championship Press Conference. My name is Jen Flowers. I'm the Assistant Commissioner of the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, and I'll be your moderator this week. Today, we are joined by the head coaches from the 8 final teams. To my right, going this direction, representing the South Central region and the 3 seed, Angelo State head coach Chuck Waddington. Representing the West region and the 6 seed, Alaska Anchorage head coach Chris Green. Representing the South region in the 2:30 match, the 2nd seeded Palm Beach Atlantic and head coach Bob White. Representing the Southeast region and the 7 seed, South Carolina Aiken head coach Glenn Cox. The coaches from our 5 o'clock match, representing the Atlantic region, the 4th seeded Wheeling Jesuit and head coach Christy Benner. Representing the Midwest region, 5th seeded Lewis and head coach Loralee Smith. And our final match, the coaches of the 7:30 match, representing the Central region and the top seed Concordia St. Paul head coach Brady Starkey. And representing the East region, the 8th seeded American International head coach Matt Cribben. We will begin with me asking an opening question to each head coach, and then we'll open up the floor for questions. We'll start right here with Coach Waddington. Coach Waddington's in his 9th season at Angelo State. Coach, this seems to be a banner year for ASU, celebrating the 40th year of ASU volleyball, and having Kathleen Brasfield being inducted into the AVCA Hall of Fame. And now, the program's first ever trip to the quarterfinals. What's this year been like for you and your team?
Well, it's been obviously a special year for us. You know, to have all those things happen in the same year is pretty remarkable. You know, Kathleen going into the AVCA Hall of Fame is just an outstanding achievement for her and our school in general. But she's the person that hired me, you know, when I came to Angelo State, and I'm forever grateful for her to take a chance on someone without any collegiate head coaching experience. And you know, but as far as our program goes, we've set a lot of goals for ourselves this year, and really have been fortunate that we've been able to check off a lot of those things, and making it to our first Elite 8 is certainly one of the bigger ones of those goals, but they're all important. And I have a special group. You know, we've got good senior leadership and some good young players, and a nice mix. So it's just been one of those deals where you never want it to end. So hopefully we can get a few more matches in this year.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Our next question is for Alaska Anchorage head coach Chris Green, who's in his 9th season. Coach, your program will lead the nation in attendance for the 2nd year in a row with an average crowd of nearly 1,400 fans. What makes Anchorage such a supportive volleyball community, and how has that helped increase your team's success?
Well, I think maybe one of the main reasons we have a large crowd, we have a lot of Alaska kids on the roster, so we're able to draw upon high school teams and middle school teams that have seen those players play in their past. We have an amazing place. The Alaska Airlines Center is, I'm a little biased, but maybe the best facility in Division II to play. So it's a great experience for the fans. Our fan experience people do a great job making it more than just watching volleyball. It's a fun thing to do. So people come back, and yeah, we're very proud of that. That attendance average.
As well, you should be. Thanks, Coach. Our next question, Palm Beach Atlantic head coach Bob White, who's in his 12th season. Coach, you started the season 0-3 and haven't lost since, winning 31 straight matches. What do you attribute the turnaround to, and did you expect to be in Sioux Falls after that first weekend?
0-3 when we left Chicago on September the 3rd. We played on opening night and Friday, so we didn't play that Saturday. We had the longest losing streak in the country at the time, so we were concerned. There's no question about that. We had a banner year the year before. We had never lost in a long time that I know of, 3 in a row. We lost 2, but not 3. So definitely concerned, but we were very thankful for that opportunity. We played some great competition. It told us a lot about where we are. We're a really young team from last year's team which made it here. To this year's team, there's only 2 players that are playing the position they played last year, and that's our 2 middles. The rest of them were on the team, but they're playing a different position, or they're brand new players to our program. So the turnaround was our leadership of our team. The kids that had been there before knew what it took, and so we came back and we learned from that experience, and we rearranged some things on the court and set some new goals, obviously, and here we are. But I don't think if you'd polled everyone at the time, I don't know that we would all thought we would be here. So we're thankful and grateful to be here.
Thanks, Coach. USC Aiken head coach Glenn Cox, who's in his 9th season at Aiken. Coach, prior to the season, you had never won a set in the NCAA tournament. What are your thoughts on not only winning a set, but winning the Southeast region and advancing to your first NCAA championship quarterfinal?
Yeah, thanks for reminding us of that. We appreciate that. Well, I mean, we're excited. We were the #1 seed last year, and we really felt like we underachieved and just played with a lot of nerves. But we were young, and it takes coming and being on this stage and learning to be here and learning to deal with the intensity of playing at this level. And this year, our school's first Elite 8 for a women's team. It's huge. Our kids have focused and been able to flip the switch when we got in trouble, and got us to 31-4, and came back from down 2 in the region final. And I've got a super group of kids that work hard, they fight hard. They love the game, and we're going to come out and battle and do what we can. So it's exciting.
Thanks, Coach. Wheeling Jesuit head coach Christy Benner in her 15th season at Wheeling. Coach, with this being the team's 6th quarterfinal trip in a row, so your 4th in a row for your 6 seniors, how has that experience helped you in preparing them? And talk a little bit about your seniors.
I think always coming to a venue that you set your bar high, and the 6 seniors, this is their 4th trip, so they really have been able to kind of pave the way for everybody else, and they know how to act when they get to this level, and it pushes them. Just the goals that we set each year, they've done a tremendous job. I can't say enough about the 6 seniors. And throughout the year, it is a lot of pressure to win a national championship and then come back. And especially that we had a lot of returners on the team, so you're expected to do well. So I think that was a lot of pressure all year, and they did a great job of handling it. Probably a better job than the coaching staff. But they're just a wonderful group of girls. We're very excited and fortunate to be back here. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Lewis head coach Laura Lee Smith in her 10th season at Lewis. Coach, Lewis has been a staple of the NCAA tournament each of the last 11 years, but this is the first trip for the Flyers to the NCAA championship quarterfinals. What's different about this team than those past teams?
We get really excited. Lewis in general always gets really excited, but this team I think was just a little more driven, and they talked about what they wanted to accomplish way back in the spring. They usually wait to do their team goals and what they want to do after we go through preseason, but this team determined it back in the spring, and I think it just carried. They did a good job of keeping in touch over the summer, and I think when you have a goal that resonates that long, maybe it just gives you a little bit extra of a drive.
Concordia St. Paul head coach Brady Starkey, who's in his 14th season. Coach, coming from a region that features 11 teams inside the ABCA's top 25 and 7 of the top 8 teams in the nation playing in that regional tournament, talk about how playing that schedule has helped prepare your team for this week.
Well, I think that probably in the past, I think it's shown that it's helped us a lot. I think that our teams are usually always ready to battle. Then it's not even just maybe it's not even maybe just the top teams in our conference. It's also the mid-level teams in our conference that you have to be aware of. And so our girls are just never really comfortable. There's never a night where you can go, hey, we're playing so-and-so tonight, and we can relax a little bit. They just never get to really breathe ever. So it's one of those things that they just know that every time they kind of step on the court, they've got to be ready to compete and ready to play. And I mean, that just kind of helps you for all this stuff. You're just always ready, I feel like. So, and that's kind of, I feel like, them to a T, basically. And so we have 6 seniors, and they're ready for this, and they're excited. So I'm excited to get out here and play.
Thanks, Coach. American International head coach Matt Cribben, who's in his 5th season. Coach, after being predicted to finish 7th in the conference preseason poll, and then following that up with a 28-6 record, the best record in program history, and a lot of firsts. First NCAA win, first regional championship, etc. What do you think has played the biggest role in the team's success, and what do you think you've proven?
I think the biggest role has been in team chemistry. We were fortunate enough to not have to add a lot of players from last season, and just building on what we've been working towards for a few years. These seniors have been with me the entire time, have been playing nonstop, and they kind of know the expectations, and they can set the expectations for their teammates. And what they've been able to do is really the testament to how well we've done this season. I'd like to take credit, but it's really what they've done with their teammates, and they've created a family atmosphere, and they fight for each other. We've been down in a couple of different situations and just never gave up, never got blown out, just always, if we were playing poorly, bounced back in the next set and got going. And I think just the narrow focus of what can we do right now to make us better has been the key for us.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. We will now open up the floor to any questions from you all. Please, prior to asking any questions, state your name and your affiliation.
Don't all jump at once. It's okay. It's all right.